History books often talk about glory, victories, and greatness, but they rarely tell you how much blood was spilled to build those empires. Empires weren't born through peace. They were forged through fear, violence, and domination. Today, we're uncovering the most brutal empires in human history, not to glorify them, but to understand how power can turn civilizations ruthless and what it cost. Humanity. Stay till the end, because the final empire might surprise you more than any other. Imagine waking up to the sound of marching boots. Your city is surrounded. There is no negotiation. Only one choice. Submit or be destroyed. This was life under the Assyrian Empire, one of the earliest and most terrifying empires the world had ever seen. The Assyrians ruled through pure psychological terror. They didn't just defeat enemies, they made examples of them. Captured rebels were publicly flayed. Bodies were stacked outside city gates. Entire populations were deported. Families torn apart and relocated thousands of miles away. Assyrian kings proudly carved these acts into stone reliefs as warnings to anyone who dared resist. Their message was clear: fear us or suffer. And it worked. For centuries, cities surrendered without fighting. Not because the Assyrians were kind, but because their cruelty was legendary. Centuries later, a different kind of brutality swept across continents faster than the world had ever seen. The Mongol Empire didn't just conquer land, it erased entire cities from existence. Led by Genghis Khan, Mongol armies moved like a storm. If a city resisted, every man, woman, and child could be killed. Survivors were sometimes spared, but only to spread fear to the next city. Historians estimate that tens of millions died during Mongol conquests. Some regions took centuries to recover their population. Yet here is the chilling part. The Mongols believed this brutality saved lives in the long run. Resist and die. Surrender and live. It was mercy, delivered through terror. Now let's talk about an empire remembered for roads, law, and civilization, but built on extreme violence. The Roman Empire expanded by crushing anyone in its path. Entire cities were enslaved. Men were forced into labor. Women and children were sold like property. Rebellion meant crucifixion, a slow, public death designed to terrify onlookers. Thousands of crosses lined Roman roads as warnings. Gladiator games weren't entertainment alone, they were propaganda. Violence was normalized. Death was a spectacle. Rome didn't just rule with armies. It ruled by reminding everyone what happens when you defy empire. But perhaps the most calculated brutality came not from swords, but from systems. The British Empire, the largest empire in history, ruled over a quarter of the world. Its violence wasn't always loud, it was structural. Colonial policies caused massive famines in India, killing millions while food was exported abroad. Entire cultures were stripped of resources, languages erased, borders drawn without care. Rebellions were crushed mercilessly. Villages burned. Public executions enforced obedience. This wasn't chaos, it was control, and the scars remain visible even today. Then came an empire built on ideology and industrialized death. Nazi Germany didn't seek land alone. It sought extermination. The Holocaust systematically murdered 6 million Jews and millions of others deemed undesirable. Death camps were factories of genocide. Trains delivered victims with chilling efficiency. Bureaucracy turned murder into paperwork. This wasn't ancient brutality. This was modern, organized, and horrifyingly precise. It proved that technology doesn't make humanity kinder, it only makes cruelty more efficient. So what do all these empires have in common? They believed power justified everything. They believed fear was more effective than justice. And for a time, they were right. But every brutal empire eventually fell. Not because they were defeated by enemies alone, but because violence rots from the inside. Fear creates obedience, not loyalty. And empires built on terror eventually collapse under their own weight. History isn't just about the past. It's a warning. Because every time humanity forgets these lessons, we risk repeating them. If you found this video powerful, make sure to like, subscribe, And share because understanding history is the first step to not becoming its next victim. And remember, the greatest danger isn't brutal empires of the past. It's believing we're incapable of creating them again.